Please be working. Please be working off the rip. I would love for you to work off the rip for once. I would love for this to work off the rip. All right. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Trump's meeting is over. It's about an hour long. And now we wait. And now, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. Don't worry about that. Hello, everybody. China has a non-nuclear bomb. Everybody. Oh, non-nuclear H-bomb? What? Okay. Trump's meeting ended. Trump's emergency meeting was about an hour long. Now we wait. However, suddenly, and out of nowhere, the UK had called their own emergency meeting and sent a fuckload of Typhoon jets over to the Middle East. So now the UK is ready to go. They're sending their boys. Trump is going to make a decision. He already made a decision, but he's going to publicize that decision soon. What else? What the fuck else? We're getting information that Netanyahu and Steve Witkoff got into a verbal altercation. They were screaming at each other because Witkoff called out Netanyahu and said, you want our American assets to be there so that they get hit by Iranian bombs and then you can drag us into the war. And Netanyahu, like, fucking screamed back and whatever. So bad, so bad, so bad, so bad, so bad. Oh, I need my headset. Oh my God. Pentagon sends warplanes, aircraft carriers to the Middle East. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Yeah, no, we already saw this. I want the breaking news. CNN breaking.
I've been speaking to a number of Iranians in Tehran who have talked about this kind of all-consuming fear of the not knowing, essentially, the panic that comes with the lack of clarity. Social media, thousands and thousands of cars trying to get out of Tehran, particularly last night after President Trump delivered this kind of ominous warning that everybody should get out of Tehran. I spoke to one woman who's now in northern
doomsday
Iran,
clock say?
hunkered down there, waiting to...
Huh? Still 89 seconds. Well, Trump hasn't disclosed his fucking decision yet. Trump hasn't disclosed his decision yet. Thank you for the $5. Hello, hello, hello. You can hear me? Okay, good.
ma'am. Thank you. Hi, everyone.
President Trump is faced with what could be the most important decision of his second term.
Holy fuck. She looks scared. I don't like when news broadcasters are afraid, dog, because they know things that we don't know. What the fuck?
President Trump is faced with what could be the most important decision of his second term. Will he order the United States military to bomb Iran?
Hold on, before we do this, I have to show you guys, like, I'm so, like, of course I love it when MAGA is like, oh my God, Trump actually sucks, but at this point, it's like, okay, great, thanks, the fucking bombs are falling. You gotta see the way that people are responding to this. So, like, you know how, like, when you see a Trump tweet, and then you open the replies, it's always like, thank you, Onyx, for becoming a loyalist. You know when you open up a Trump tweet and then you look at the replies, it's always like, thank you, Supreme Leader Trump. Like, we love you, Trump. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Brother. Oh, let's see. No. Fucking everybody, bro. 50,000 people voted on this with a no. Right wing 50%. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is Red Pill USA. I mean, these are literal Nazis, but thank you, Casey, for becoming a loyalist. Oh my God. I gotta see Stephen Miller. Even the Nazis disagree, bro. Even the Nazis are like, hey, did you see Nick Fuentes, that, like, literal, like, Nazi Groiper king? Brother, I hate Nazis through the bone, but even they are like, hey, dude, maybe not do this? This is insane. This is insane. Oh my God.
Just moments ago, the president wrapped a meeting with his national security team in the Situation Room as he weighs this very question. And although President Trump has so far been publicly pushing for a deal with Iran.
No, bro, you know what Trump is giving? He's giving Otto von Bismarck, right? He's not even giving Hitler right now. He's giving running on no new wars, and then actually, guess what? We're going into a war, and it's the biggest war possible. Like, dude, think about it like this, guys. This makes sense. When does Trump ever not go full throttle, right? Think about, like, the executive orders and the fucking no due process and, like, the just fuck you to the Constitution. Of course, if Trump goes to war, it's gonna be like the craziest fucking shit ever. You know what I mean? It's never gonna be like, oh, we're gonna send 400 advisors to South Vietnam. No. Brother's like, we're gonna bomb. Brother, I'll turn my mic up right now. I'm sorry about that. Brother goes, no, we're gonna bomb Iran. And he goes, I know where the Ayatollah is. What? What?
Two officials familiar with the situation tell CNN that he's increasingly warm to using the U.S. military in Iran. And publicly, his tone...
Bro, I swear to God, I'm begging Trump to do a full 180 and just go, gotcha! Fuck you, Israel! It's all up to you! Dude, I would get on my knees and praise him if he turned the fuck around right now and just goes, you know what? We're not doing this. Could you imagine a world where he doesn't do this?
Seems to be changing very quickly. So this afternoon, he posted this.
Oh my
quote,
God.
We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding.
They don't do her justice. I'll read it for you, sweetheart. We don't know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. Oh, wait, no, I said we don't. Fuck, maybe she should have read it, you know, because I'm actually absolutely fucking stupid as shit. Let's try again.
Take two.
We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. He's an easy target, but he's safe there. We are not going to take him out. Go. At least not for now. We don't want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers. Our patience is wearing thin. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Thank you for your attention to this matter? What? Brother! Wait a minute! Wait a minute! That's the Ayatollah. No new wars. I would have ended that war on day one.
He is an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out. Kill, exclamation point. At least not for now. But the president added, our patience is wearing...
Iran is preparing to potentially strike U.S. bases. Oh! Like, what? Yeah, of course! Of course!
thin. He then followed up that.
Yo, who wants to volunteer? Yo, who wants to volunteer? Just for... Yo, come on. Yo, if they bring back PALS battalions and they let us fucking serve with the boys, bro. Yo! Let's do it!
With this post, unconditional surrender, implying that that's the solution for Iran.
Bro, you know what's hilarious about this fucking post is that he didn't say like you need to surrender or some shit. Think, dude, what if we lost? Do you understand? What if we lost and had and unconditionally surrendered? I know that's insane to think about, but do you understand how that would bite him in the ass? Do you, brother? This could be interpreted in so many ways, my dude. In so many ways. What are we doing?
Of course, at this writing, seems at the very least unlikely. Over 5 days of airstrikes, Iran has killed 24 Israelis, injured many more. And at the same time, Israel has devastated Iran's military and intelligence leadership and decimated their air defense capability. That leaves the country's nuclear facilities more vulnerable than they have ever been.
Oh, God.
But Israel simply can't wipe out the entire program by themselves. So why is that? Experts say that the Fordo enrichment facility, which is built more than 250 feet underground, could only be destroyed by an enormous bunker-busting bomb. It is a bomb that only a
bunker-busting bomb? Bro, this is the type of shit I had nightmares about. Do you understand how many movies are literally fictional movies are based on the United States bombing Iran?
America has, and that only
I don't
America
wanna do
can drop
this anymore. I don't want to be the reason why.
And that is the dilemma facing the president.
Oh, I gotta
You
make
can't
another
just-
poll. I gotta do it, and I gotta do it quick. Hold on, hold on. Don't you yell at me. I'll fuck you up. I don't wanna do this anymore. I don't wanna be the reason why. Sorry, I got a new stim. Start a poll. Create a poll. Have you liked and subscribed yet? Yes or no? I'm a dirty boy. I'm a dirty fella. No, I'm dirty. No, I'm stinky. There we go. I don't wanna do this anymore. I don't wanna be the reason why. All right, back to the video. Also, I feel like I gotta have Trump's truth up. Trump's truth is such a crazy thing to say. And, like, of course that exists. Because truth doesn't fucking matter. Trump's truth is what matters. W. Pierce, thank you, Pierce, the $2. We're living in the Blops universe. What if I told you that the Black Ops universe would be so much preferable to what global thermonuclear war is? Brother, when I was at the United Nations, nuke shit, I found out, I finally understood that Fallout, the game, Fallout is a beautiful world compared to what real nuclear fallout would be like. It is hilariously cute. You know what I mean? Even the death clause. You're like, oh, okay, well, that's not bad. Yeah, Chris, are you good? Yeah, bro. What are you talking about?
Hand Israel the bombs and let them drop them. It weighs 30,000 pounds. The only plane that can carry that 30,000-pound bomb is an American B-2 bomber. So put simply, if President Trump wants to fully destroy Iran's nuclear program, American airmen will have to conduct the strikes.
If we don't take out their nuclear program now, we'll all regret it. We're very close. Be all in, Mr. President, in helping Israel finish the job, and let's see where we're at after we neutralize their nuclear program.
Lindsey Graham is such a fucking war hawk.
Someone who in that same interview said he was on the phone with President Trump last night. And that message, delivered just a few minutes ago, comes as there are real signs. We're getting closer to the possibility
Bro, do you understand
that President Trump might order
what the fuck would happen if we lost a B-2? Like, and they took our pilot hostage? Brother.
Lindsey Graham was talking about right there. More than 30 American aerial refueling tankers have been moved into the region in recent days. Two sources telling CNN that that's being done in order to give the president options. Those options could include refueling Israeli jets or enabling joint strikes. Now, of course, there is pressure from inside and outside the president's party to walk back from this brink.
I real quick just want to say to all you MAGA fucks, you did this. Every single one of you red hat wearing pieces of shit, you did this.
Hoping the president will not get involved with the war.
I happen to believe that the U.S. being at war with Iran would be a colossal mistake. There is no national security imperative that suggests that we should.
Because let's take a second to reflect on this moment. The decisions like the one that President Trump is facing right now can come to define entire presidencies. And of course...
Bitch, I didn't mean that. Sweetheart, the decision he makes right now is going to define this century. We're a quarter of the way through this century. This decision will dictate what the next quarter of this century looks like.
Moments like these are filled with risk and uncertainty.
This small band of gallant Cuban refugees must have known that they were chancing, determined as they were against heavy odds.
Late yesterday, I canceled a carefully planned operation which was underway in Iran to position our rescue team for a later withdrawal of American hostages.
Just 2 hours ago, Allied air forces began an attack on military targets in Iraq and Kuwait.
The United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of al-Qaeda.
Our military mission in Afghanistan will conclude on August 31st.
Quite a bit there, and our panel is going to weigh in on what this moment means for President Trump. But we're going to start with CNN chief international correspondent Clarissa Ward. She's in Tel Aviv, and CNN senior White House correspondent Kristen Holmes. Kristen, let me start with you because the president's Situation Room meeting with his national security team just wrapped up minutes ago. Are we learning anything at this hour about what was said?
Not shit. We ain't gonna learn shit.
That they were going to discuss is what the U.S. posture was going to be. As you have said, Donald Trump has vacillated in between saying he wants a diplomatic solution and now...
You think the Dems are going to take a hard stance with this? Nope. I am willing to bet money that a very large portion of the Democrats are going to say we need to bomb Iran. 100% they're going to say that. You understand how many Democrats are bought by AIPAC? Listen, you might think a lot of these people are progressive, but just you wait. Just you fucking wait until this type of shit happens.
Forming to this idea of a more aggressive approach. And I'm told in part that's going to be about what the Iranians are doing as well. So all of this is for him to hear out his closest advisors and his cabinet officials. We've been watching Pete Hegseth leaving. Stephen Miller just walked out. The Attorney General Pam Bondi. He is surrounding himself by his closest and highest ranking officials.
I want you to think about that for a second. The decision about like this giant escalation in World War III. Guess who was in the meeting? King Doland, of course. Pam Bondi. Kristi Noem. Stephen Miller. Pete Hegseth. And J.D. Vance. I don't really know who else, but... Brother, if I'm supposed to have hope on their mind, like hoping they did the right thing, fuck you.
Officials as they enter into this period, which, as you say, could be and is likely to be one of the most consequential.
Oh yeah, don't forget Pete's Flask. Of course, Pete's Flask had to have been in the room.
In his president.
You guys like my World War III shirt? Yeah! Absolutely. Absolutely, dudes. Dudes! Fuck yeah, dudes. Hell yeah, dudes. Fuck, dudes. I feel like every once in a while I gotta stop the video so we could check out, King Dolan's truth, right? Let's hit it with a quick refresh. Uh-oh. FBI asked spy agencies to destroy intel on alleged China plot to aid Joe Biden in the 2020 election. From justthenews.com. 79 years old, by the way. Grandfather, by the way. Potentially a great-grandfather. Most powerful man in the world, by the way. Oh, Jesus. Oh. 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 Oh my God! Oh my God! What? Oh my God! I think I'm gonna cry. Oh. Oh, Jesus. Oh. Yeah, thumbs up, sweetheart. Yeah, thumbs up. Yeah, thumbs up, sweetheart. Yeah, no, because everything's gonna be fine. Fuck.
Now, one of the things that Donald Trump had repeatedly said behind closed doors before was that he wanted a diplomatic solution. He was incredibly wary of getting the U.S. involved. But as the days have gone on, he has reached out to various sources, asking them what they think. Do they think it is imperative that the U.S. get involved? And one of the things that we are told that he has focused on, too, is what would happen if the U.S. did get involved. What would that timeline look like? Because one of the things Donald Trump deeply cares about is that this is not some kind of extended war, regardless of whether or not the United States gets involved.
Not fully. We're at We're at 8 right now. 8. Okay? If a single one of our planes is shot down, if a single one, Chris, you're gonna break 70K. Woohoo! Anyway, thank you guys. I do appreciate and love you all very, very much. You guys are incredible, and I love you. If a single one of our planes is shot down, 8 to 9. And you don't want to know 10. Chris, viewers, keep your consistent phone speaker volume challenge impossible. Oh, no. Am I too quiet? Am I too quiet right now? What's going on? Am I too loud? I'm sorry.
President Trump does not want this to be long and drawn out. He ran on this idea that there would be no wars under him. Obviously, we are seeing what is happening in the Middle East, and there is now this perspective of the United States getting even more involved.
What about that?
The other thing I am told that the
this
White
will be
House
the loudest that I
get! Is what exactly is Iran doing? You can
Onyx with gifting 5 mems. Thank you for the 5 membies.
hear Donald Trump asking people,
Thank you
saying
very
that
much.
they're up to no good, and seeing actually in these various posts kind of loose threats when it comes to Iran. Don't go after U.S. military assets. Don't go after anything related to America. That's not what we're doing here. And Donald Trump himself seems to be getting more and more invested in what's going on. I want to pull up one. You read one of these when he was talking about the Supreme Leader, but another post that he posted, he said, "We now have complete and total control of the skies over Iran."
Fuck you mean we? Donnie, fuck do you mean we? Are we in? You think we're going to war tonight? Yes.
And that's that second post there. We there is the key operative term, essentially saying the United
even she's saying it. Even she said it. She's calling it out. Dude, I'm always surprised when the fucking news actually says what needs to be said.
United States is part of that. We don't have any answers on what exactly that means.
Yo, she looks exhausted.
For the United
She
States.
looks horrified. She
What
looks
they're doing,
excited.
but obviously we are very involved
You gonna be drafted? Nah, bro, I'm out of draft age. I'm gonna volunteer so you motherfuckers have someone to look at.
already, but not quite at the level that is now currently being discussed.
All right, very interesting on all. Clarissa, bring us up to speed. You're in the region, obviously a region that has been very much on edge. What is the latest there, and what are residents and leaders in that region expecting?
Well, I would say, you know, in terms of the near term, people are getting ready for another night. They're wondering whether it's going to bring more strikes.
I'm willing to bet money Zerk is a Nazi. Hey, Zerk, what do you think about Hitler? I can smell one of you from a mile away, dog. Smells like shit. Smells like shit.
Last night was much quieter than the previous 3 days. No casualties overnight. There were a number of instances where sirens went off, but no major impacts. And according to the IDF, there were about...
No, only if they enact a draft. If they enact a draft, I'm volunteering. You motherfuckers are not going in alone. That's bullshit.
30 missile or drone launches, which compared to 200 on the first night after Israel began its strikes in Iran, is a significant reduction. At the same time, people are obviously in a state...
Bullshit. That's your answer to me asking what you think about Hitler. Get him out of here. Ban him. He's a fucking Nazi. I know what noticing is, bro. You think you guys are fucking clever with your dog whistles? Go back to fucking Postman, you fucking dork.
Of alert, everyone understands and is constantly reminded that when you do hear those sirens, you have about 90 seconds to try to get to a proper safe room or a shelter. In terms of the sort of anticipation of what President Trump might decide or announce possibly in the coming hours, I would say that publicly Israeli officials are being quite circumspect. They don't want to be seen to be forcing the president's hand or weighing in too strongly. We heard, for example, Defense Minister Israel Katz today saying that, you know, America is playing a defensive role and we're very grateful for that. But privately, I think there is an expectation and a very strong hope from many here in Israel that President Trump would join in with this operation. And for people in Israel, unlike people in the rest of the region, they really view this as an existential matter. The ambivalence around
oh my God, bro. Oh my God, dog.
Nuclear program and what it was intended for and whether Iran was actually trying to create a nuclear weapon and how far away they were from that. That ambivalence and nuance does not exist in the dialogue.
I'm willing to bet money Koofs is having a mental breakdown right now going, oh my God, that fat Italian was right.
Here in Israeli society, they firmly believe.
You know the tanks they sent to DC for the parade, they haven't left. You know who predicted that? Me. Let me pull it up. You know who predicted that? Me. Let me pull it up. Let's see. So next week is Trump's big military birthday party, and they've got... Look when I posted this, bro. like hundreds of tanks coming to DC and jets and armored vehicles. They're doing a whole North Korea style one for you fucking inbreds who voted for him. Yet that is day one of the authoritarian regime, the complete totalitarian dictatorship. That is day one, Trump's birthday. All those military vehicles they're bringing into DC, most of them are staying. Most of them are staying in DC. If you live in DC, bro, you're fucked. You are fucked. Oh no, it's almost like somebody predicted this. Look at this one. Hold on, look at this one. When did I post this? Fucking 4 days ago. Oh, God. You know what I'm going to do? Hold on. Let's also change this to the Valenti Videos Vindication Hour. How about that? How about that? We're going to keep the title, actually, but, actually, no, that's a stupid fucking title. I hate you. Shut up.
My precious, give me the ring. Give it to me.
That Iran is far too close, or was far too close, to being able to create a nuclear weapon. And as I said, they see it as an existential issue. So notwithstanding the casualties, 24 of them, as you mentioned, over the past 4 or 5 days now, the amount of damage that has been done and the disruption to daily life here, as well as the economic impact, the vast majority of people here are very much in favor of this operation. And again, the defense minister is today ruling out the possibility of any negotiations. Casey?
Any negotiations.
Clarissa Ward, of course, on the ground in Tel Aviv. Clarissa, always grateful to have you there for us. Thanks very much.
Negotiations. Oh! Oh! Whoa! Fuck you mean? Wait.
Does the Trump administration need to seek authorization from Congress if they choose to strike Iran?
The answer to that question is yes, by the way. The answer to that question is yes. You need congressional approval to go to war. LFG means let's fucking go. But bro, you need congressional approval to go to war.
Well, I mean, I think right now the president...
Oh my God, we're cooked. 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 Oh my God. Oh my God. What do you mean anything other than yes? What do you mean anything other than yes?
Within his authorities, he obviously has a lot of authority as commander-in-chief to respond to incidents that happen around the world. Obviously, we have a lot of military installations, bases, military personnel in the region right now. And so I think he's perfectly within his right to do what he's done so far. And obviously, I think they're giving analysis to what may happen next in that theater. But we want to ensure that there is a good outcome there, hopefully a peaceful outcome. And I think the president...
So no? So very long way of saying, nah, we don't need congressional approval to bomb Iran.
It's made it abundantly clear to the Iranians that he would like to be part of helping negotiate a deal that would end their nuclear program. But one way or the other, they've got to end their nuclear program. That's the end state of what happens with this. And I think the president is very committed to that objective.
Would you allow, under those circumstances, would you then allow a war powers resolution to come to the floor so that Congress would have the authority if a strike were to occur, if the administration went down that?
I think right now, I think we're getting the cart ahead of the horse here. This is something that's happened in the last few days. I think the president is perfectly within his authority in the steps that he has taken. You know, clearly, if this thing were to extend for some period of time, there could be a more fulsome discussion about what the role of Congress should be and whether or not we need to take action. But I think right now, let's hope and pray for the best outcome, the best solution. And in my view, that would be Iran coming to the negotiating table and agreeing to end their nuclear program.
This is going to backfire so bad on Trump. Just so you guys know, this is the end of Trump in terms of like any political career. This is it. He might get impeached and removed from office because of this. Genuinely. I'm being so fucking serious, bro. This might be it. What up, Onyx, with the $2? Thank you, brother. This is Fox.
Amid those tensions rising in the Middle East, and we're hearing reporting from Edward Lawrence saying the Situation Room meeting had lasted about an hour and 20 minutes, but it came to a conclusion. Also, another post saying the White House official telling him the meeting with the national security advisors in the Situation Room starting soon. They talked about strikes inside Iran on targets likely the facility where Iran has its nuclear program. Strikes are on the table. Let's bring into the conversation right now senior fellow with JINSA and former national security advisor under Vice President Dick Cheney, John Hanna. John, thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. What type of conversations went on inside of that situation room, and what are they talking about in relation to potential strikes against Iran?
Thanks for having me, Andy. I think they're clearly looking now at real live options for U.S. intervention on Israel's side to go after these Iranian nuclear sites, particularly that deepest, most important nuclear uranium enrichment site that the Iranians have at Fordow, built several hundred feet under the ground, under reinforced concrete that only U.S. bunker-busting bombs can get to, delivered by U.S. strategic bombers that Israel doesn't have. There's also a need. Israel's over the skies of Iran constantly, destroying missiles, destroying other nuclear sites, destroying military leadership sites.
Why would he get impeached because of this? Because I think that war with Iran, I think that World War III is actually a bridge too far for a lot of Trump supporters. There's a MAGA cult, and the MAGA cult will always support him until the bitter end, but he may lose literal millions of supporters today. Millions of people who supported Donald Trump yesterday may no longer support him tomorrow. Like dead ass, verbatim, for real.
In the air a long distance from Israel to sustain that kind of pace of operations. They could really use some advanced U.S. aerial refueling capabilities, probably over the skies of Iraq, that Israel also doesn't have, that would dramatically enhance its ability to keep its Air Force in the air 24/7.
It's very interesting because we continue to hear some of those assets being moved into the region, and this is the graphic from Fox that we are seeing just all around there in the Mediterranean, the Red Sea, just the amount of force, the posture.
Sweet God, bro. USS Arleigh Burke, USS the Sullivans. By the way, the Sullivan brothers are the brothers that Saving Private Ryan is based off of. Little fun fact. Suez Canal, we've got the USS Forrest Sherman. We've got the USS Truxton. We've got the USS Thomas Hudner. We've got the USS Wayne E. Meyer. We've got the USS Princeton. We've got the USS Carl Vinson. We've got the USS Milius. If this is not a full-fledged war, nothing is. If that's not war, then you don't know what the fuck war is.
Which the United States continues to have in that region. They're continuing to call it a defensive posture. When will it look offensive? And can you describe maybe what we're seeing in terms of just the amount there in the region?
I got to see the comments on this.
Yeah, no, it's already been several months, Andy, that the president has been, as he engages in these negotiations to coerce Iran into making a deal and giving up its nuclear program peacefully, he's been building up a very credible military deterrent in the region. And now as we get closer to this decision to actually enter the fray on Israel's side to really try and finish this job in a decisive
Excuse me, sir.
We have big news right now. The Iranian government is now preparing to strike United States bases and United States military forces in the Middle East if the United States joins Israel's war against Iran. Here's the latest. According to the New York Times right now, American intelligence is showing that Iranian forces are preparing missiles and other military equipment to strike U.S. bases in the Middle East, targeting U.S. soldiers and U.S. civilians who are working on these bases. But that will only happen if the United States enters the war in Iran. Now, according to Israeli media, the United States will be entering the war, but we don't have any confirmation of that from U.S. officials yet.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
Nice manner. The president's only now adding new increments of.
Yo, what? The fuck's going on, bro? Do not touch our boats. I'm telling you, don't touch our boats. Oh no, brother. You picked a bad time, brother. You picked a... I hope he filmed this a while ago.
President Trump was asked why he called for Tehran to evacuate. Roll tape.
What was the thinking on the call for Tehran? I visited the Rambam Medical Center and the Ichilov Medical Center, about 600 people injured, and that's my cue to go to the bomb shelter.
We understand when you have to leave us, you have to leave us. We do understand that. But I'm looking at this as a...
Yeah, you'll come with me while I walk to the bomb shelter in this private home.
Okay, so long as you can hear me,
fucking
Doctor.
Everyone in Israel is a goddamn bomb shelter, dude.
We bring in retired four-star General Joseph Votel. During his nearly 4 decades of service in the Army, he led Special Operations Command and Central Command, overseeing military operations in the Middle East. He's a distinguished military fellow at the Middle East Institute. General, very good to have you back on the program today. So you hear this discussion that it appears that the president, and of course he could change his mind on this at any moment. They're in discussions right now in the Situation Room. But it appears that the sending the vice president, J.D. Vance, and Steve Witkoff, his Middle East envoy, to have one more discussion with Iran appears to be a bit taking a back seat.
Quentin Tarantino's in Tel Aviv. So you're telling me there's a chance?
At this point, and we see these military assets moving now. What is your assessment of where things are and how long it might take to actually see this kind of strike that's being considered on Fordo?
Yeah, thanks, Martha. It's great to be with you. I think what we're seeing right now is the president trying to take maximum leverage opportunity here of the situation that's been created by the very devastating Israeli strikes and that have really rendered the air defense capability of Iran mute and have really begun to have impacts not just on the nuclear weapons program, but on the military overall. And I think the president sees that this may be an opportunity for us to get to an end state that we've been after for a long time. That is Iran not having a nuclear weapon.
Oh, so, he said Iran.
In my view, I think he is trying.
He said Iran. You can disregard everything he says. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It's that simple, guys. That's how quickly you can disregard everything somebody says, even if they're on the fucking news. That fast. That quick.
Until I came along. Homeland Security is saying that ICE is going to start enforcing in hotels and farms again. Is that a change of course from last week? We're going to look everywhere, but I think the biggest problem is the inner cities. We're looking everywhere. Look,
what they let into this country, what Biden let in or allowed to. I don't think he knew what the hell he was doing, frankly, but whoever worked for him. What they let into this country, we're never going to forget it. They let prisoners in, they let gang members in, drug dealers in, the mentally insane into our country. No, we're going to get them out. They're more.
Sorry, Lancelot.
More in the inner cities, Democrat-run cities. Sadly, I mean, I'm just giving you. There's far more in there than you have on a farm or someplace.
No one's getting exemptions anymore. Everyone is
being looked at, but the bigger problem is the cities right now. That's where you have, and that tends to be where the really bad.
Huh.
We've just learned that President Trump's Situation Room meeting on the conflict between Iran and Israel has just wrapped up. Trump says he wants to end Iran's nuclear activities. Let's bring in CBS News White House correspondent Ed O'Keefe, who's live for us outside the White House where that meeting took place. Ed, what do we...
You guys remember when people said I was a fearmonger? No, you guys remember when people said I was a fearmongerer?
know about the meeting in the Situation Room?
Liz, we know it broke up about 20, 30 minutes ago. CBS News producers actually spotted the president heading back to the Oval Office there in the West Wing right after it concluded. He was joined by, among others, the Vice President, his National Security Advisor and Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, the Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, and Steve Witkoff, who is his Special Envoy to the Middle East. We now know, based on multiple sources, that among the topics discussed during this meeting was the big question of whether or not the United States should join Israel in military operations to essentially eliminate Iran's nuclear program.
He's got
and
such
whether or not
skinny legs,
specifically
dude. Jesus
the
Christ.
location known as Fordow, which is that nuclear enrichment site
ever seen
inside
Donald Trump
mountains
wear shorts?
that would require 30,000.
There's got to be one, right? No fucking shot. No fucking shot, right? Crazy. No, his hair's not real.
£1,000-pound bunker-busting bombs to be used to destroy it should be authorized for use in this situation. There is not agreement among the president's top advisors over exactly how to proceed. At least there wasn't ahead of this meeting, and we're waiting to hear if the president has made some kind of a decision, whether he'll speak about that or use his social media platform to announce a decision. No word on that just yet. Earlier on Truth Social, the president signaled that he was back and certainly fully engaged on what was going on.
Let's see Iran military's Twitter. Yo. I'm not allowed to say what I'm thinking right now, but I'm thinking it. Charlie Kirk is such a piece of shit, dude.
suggesting in a initial message that the United States, or he said, sorry, we have full operational control over Iran's skies, which immediately led to questions about whether or not the United States had taken control of Iranian airspace. The White House pushed back very quickly, saying, no, it's not the United States. He meant Israel, but we collectively, because, of course, the United States is being consulted on this.
Bullshit.
That was
bullshit, guy.
Perhaps it was his subsequent statement regarding the supreme leader of Iran that drew even more attention, saying that the United States was aware of where the supreme leader is hiding. He is not an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out, kill, at least not for now, but we don't want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers. Our patience is wearing thin. That essentially reiterates what he had been saying for several days, that if Iran were to target U.S. military or diplomatic personnel in the Middle East, there would be an immediate and swift American military response. And by saying now out in the open that the Americans and Israelis know specifically where the supreme leader is, but we're not killing him, at least not yet, it signals again to Iran, we're on to you, and you have...
Dude, like... does Trump actually think that's a way of de-escalating a conflict, is being like, I know where you live and I'll kill you. Now negotiate with me. Especially to a religious zealot, an Islamic zealot like the Ayatollah of Iran. Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you out of your mind? Oh my God. Thank you, Onyx. Say it, but in Minecraft. Thank you for the $5.
Have an opportunity to step back and potentially, you know, end this in another way. Overnight, the president said on his flight back from the G7 in Canada, remember he abruptly flew back last night, that he wants a real end to the nuclear program in Iran and is not looking for a ceasefire between Iran and Israel, but a complete and total end of Iran's nuclear program.
And we know some of President Trump's biggest supporters do.
Iranian state TV just said, quote, there will be a surprise tonight that the world will remember for centuries. Iran has prepared missiles and other military equipment for strikes on U.S. bases if U.S. joins the war. I'm not in too much of a mood to negotiate right now. Jesus Christ.
Do not want to see the United States enter a conflict with Iran. So how is the White House addressing political fallout from all of this?
Yeah, a notable message earlier today of support for the president from the vice president, J.D. Vance, using his personal Twitter account to, in essence, say that the president has been amazingly consistent over 10 years regarding Iran and his belief that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. So sort of reminding his base of support, look, the president's always said this isn't new. And then adding later that he sees no reason why Iran needs to be enriching uranium at the levels that it is for potentially non-civilian and nefarious reasons. And then adding the president has shown remarkable restraint in keeping our military's focus on protecting our troops and protecting our citizens. A key statement because conservative commentators, former allies of the president, or maybe current allies, but at least today not, Tucker Carlson among them, a handful of Republican lawmakers like Rand Paul, the Republican senator of Kentucky, saying president should not be engaging in a foreign war. We've seen this before from Republican and Democratic administrations, most notably George W. Bush during the Iraq War, and we don't want to do that again. What Vance adds, though, is he may decide, the president, he needs to take further action to end Iranian enrichment. That decision ultimately belongs to the president, and of course people are right to be worried about foreign entanglement after the last 25 years of what he called idiotic foreign policy.
Yeah, now we're going to enter another 25 years of it. Thanks.
So in essence, it's saying to the MAGA
Donnie.
base, we know you're concerned about the potential for foreign wars and the U.S. getting involved, but there may be good reason, and it's in keeping with one of President Trump's consistent statements when he was a candidate, when he was president the first time, when he was a candidate again and president again, that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. And if he's convinced by the Israelis and by his advisors that there's a chance to permanently end it, he may very well take it. We'll see how his conservative base reacts to that. Republican Party is split on this issue, as it often is on potential foreign military interventions.
Hello, everyone. I'm Major Garrett in Washington. Welcome to The Takeout. President Trump huddled with his national security team this afternoon after an abrupt departure from the G7 summit in Canada. The topic, you guessed it, Iran.
The topic, you guessed it, Iran. Meanwhile, sexy beat going on in the back. Brother, you gonna fuck me or tell me the news?
The president said he knows where the supreme leader of that theocratic dictatorship is hiding. But for the time being, he wrote, the U.S. will not try to kill him. The U.S. did move warplanes into the region and reposition ships already there. These military moves prompted a somewhat angry debate on social media within the president's MAGA base about the possibility of a new war and how close Iran actually is to possessing a nuclear weapon and the means to deliver it. The question before the White House appears to be this: does it allow Israel alone to continue striking Iranian targets in the hope that it can degrade Iran's nuclear program, or does the U.S. come in with heavier bombs and bigger planes to inflict massive, possibly irrevocable damage? CBS News can report the president is considering that second option. For more on all this...
Brother, we're absolutely doing this. We're doing this. Why is everybody pretending like we're not going to do this? Fucking mainstream media is a bunch of goddamn pussies, bro. Serious question. In your semi-professional opinion, it's time for me to quit my job and head to the mountains? You're closer to making that decision than you have ever been in your entire life. I'm not going to tell you to quit your job, brother, but you are closer to making that decision than you have ever been. We need Dolan to say something. Dude, this is a big reason why I hate Trump so much, is he leaves us in this state of limbo all the time because he's incapable of making his own decisions. So he's probably tweaking right now, but he doesn't understand that when he tweaks, the nation tweaks. A leader needs to take charge. A leader needs to tell you what the fuck the plan is, dog.
As conflict rages in the Middle East, President Trump has warned that those in Tehran should, quote, immediately evacuate. That's what they're doing. That's video from Iran's capital showing a line of cars just trying to get out. U.S. officials tell CBS News that American forces are not joining Israel's offensive, but the Pentagon has deployed more assets to the region, including another carrier strike group. And the U.S. involvement in these tensions has prompted concern from Congress members. Let's get right to CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killian. Nicole, what are you hearing from lawmakers there?
Well, certainly there's a divide here on Capitol Hill in terms of how the president is handling this situation. You know, Republicans are trying to give him a little runway and leeway in terms of allowing him to do what they say is within his authority. At the same time, you have some members who do feel that Congress should be consulted and also have concerns about the U.S. being pulled into a wider conflict here. Earlier today, we saw Kentucky Congressman Tom Massey, for instance, instance, introduce a war powers resolution, basically to prohibit the U.S. from any involvement in this Israel-Iran conflict.
You think a piece of paper? You think a piece of paper is going to stop Donald Trump? You think a piece of paper is going to stop Donald Trump? A binding resolution? Are you fucking out of your mind? And this is proposed by Representative Ro Khanna. I know Ro Khanna. I've talked to Ro Khanna. I've had meetings with Ro. Are you out of your fucking mind, dog? This isn't gonna work. He needs to be impeached. Ro. He needs to be impeached now.
Obviously, in terms of a resolution, that's mostly symbolic, but it's one of many.
See, even she said it. It's mostly symbolic. This is I don't need symbolism. I need fucking action.
Capitol Hill, there are a couple of resolutions also in the Senate that some lawmakers have been floating. So that being said, you know, many lawmakers here continue to watch this situation carefully and cautiously.
And Nicole, we know that lawmakers also received a security briefing following the tragic shootings in Minnesota. Do we have any details on what was said in that briefing?
Well, there were two sets of briefings taking place, one in the House, one in the Senate. The House was virtual since the House is out this week. The Senate was here in person on Capitol.
You know what's going to happen if Harris was in office and she had to be the one to deal with Iran? It wouldn't end pretty. I could say that. Listen, Cletus, go back to your sister wife and fuck off to the boonies. World War III started because of who you voted for, you fucking inbred. Suck my dick, fuck off. Get out of here. Don't ban him. Do not ban him. Do not ban him. I want that fucking loser to feel the shit.
Capitol Hill, but both briefings involved U.S. Capitol Police and the Senate Sergeant at Arms, and this really was just to talk to members about the current security posture here on Capitol Hill, but also for these members when they're back home in their districts. You know, there was some concern expressed on the part of some lawmakers that perhaps maybe in terms of Capitol Police that they should get more funding to help in terms of their duties, because oftentimes
yeah, no, fucking MAGA brainworm-ridden smooth brains trying to go 5 minutes without bringing up Kamala Harris or Joe Biden. Challenge level fucking impossible, dude. Meanwhile, bootlicking Palantir and Lockheed Martin shoving that leather down your fucking throat like your Confederate grandfather was sucking dick on the fucking field.
Joining us now, NBC News Chief White House Correspondent Peter Alexander, Senior Fellow of Middle East and Africa Studies at the Council on Foreign Relations, Stephen Cook. Also with us, a lead negotiator for the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, Robert Malley.
Kristi Noem in the hospital. Fuck you mean? Oh, shit. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem transported by ambulance to a D.C. area hospital. Fuck happened to her? Is the Confederate mouth breather still here, or did he fuck off back to his hideous wife sister?
He's now a lecturer at Yale University and the author of a new book out in September called Tomorrow is Yesterday, Life, Death, and the Pursuit of Peace in Israel-Palestine. All right, Peter, I'm hoping you can give us a little bit more clarity about the decision to use...
I don't like Trump, but you cannot blame these wars on him. That's ridiculous. He doesn't make the big decisions. Trump literally green-lighted Israel's bombing of Iran. Trump actually gave them permission to do it. What the fuck are you talking about? Second of all, the only fucking reason this is happening is because Donald Trump pulled out of Barack Obama's 2018 Iran nuclear deal. And the whole reason he pulled out of it was because Barack Obama fucking signed it. This is all Donald Trump's fault. Every single fucking part of it.
The term "we" in these social media posts?
Well, here's what we can tell you with certitude. We don't know exactly what the president's referring to when he says we. Clearly, he is claiming some credit for the situation taking place in the skies over Iran right now.
Hey, real quick, Cletus, was the Confederacy good or bad? Yes or no? Which one? Was the Confederacy good or bad, Cletus? Could you riddle me that one? Could you riddle me that one? Please answer. I'd love to know.
Now, you remember ahead of these strikes, the president last week was pushing for diplomacy. Now, a very different message from this president only a short time ago in all caps on his preferred megaphone, Truth Social, posting.
Look at him screaming like the fucking inbred he is. Biden gave Ukraine the fucking supplies, gave them illegals the fucking money. That could have gone somewhere useful. Yeah, meanwhile, you fucking voted for World War III, you inbred hick.
Unconditional surrender, calling for Iran's unconditional surrender, citing the possibility of killing the supreme leader there, referring, as you note, to the efforts taking place over Iran right now as we, the president, with this seeming threat, at least a warning to the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei.
I'll give you a readout because you can't fucking read, Cletus. We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. He is an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out, kill, at least not for now. But we don't want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers. Our patience is wearing thin. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So real quick, hold on, Cletus, when you read that, is this like you still support this? You're like, oh, this is a great message from the President of the United States. Oh, this is fantastic, right? You think this is good, Cletus? You think this is good? Oh my God, he's finally responded to the Confederate flag. How about this one? The Confederate flag is a country problem, not a worldwide problem. With the American flag, if you hate it, get this fucking racist, inbred, subhuman, inferior piece of shit out of my fucking chat. Suck my dick. Get the fuck out of here and back to the fucking cornfield.
Saying that we know exactly where he's hiding, is an easy target. We're not going to take him out or kill him, at least not for now. We should note that just last week, NBC News was told that the president had rejected a proposal by the Israelis, which would have targeted the supreme leader of Iran. Now, perhaps the message appears to be changing a bit. And again, to the point about we have complete and total control of the skies over Iran. Of course, the U.S. has no fighter jets, to our knowledge, that are flying there right now.
Joe Biden was an ideological Zionist. Joe Biden fully supported the genocide in Gaza. Joe Biden is not innocent in all of this. But to think that Donald Trump has no blame in this? Are you fucking insane?
Have been helping Israel shoot down incoming weapons that have been targeting Iran. But Katie, to your point, all of this ahead of a Situation Room meeting we're told should be starting either within this hour or certainly soon. The president is going to be speaking with his national security advisors with a real significant decision to make about whether the U.S. should weigh in directly in this war or should continue to pursue a more peace-type deal effort. The president yesterday and again today indicating that he seems to be in no mood to negotiate at this time. Katie?
At the very least, Peter, it seems like they want to appear as if they are standing side by side on Israel and that they're willing to go as far as it takes. They want to appear that way.
Yeah, no, guys,
and what's
I'm starting to think that I know what happened to Christy Noem. She probably fell off of the set during an OnlyFans shoot when she was fucking her ass.
Is the way that it's fractured his coalition, the MAGA base. You have Tucker Carlson.
Cooper, you got to make another account just to roll back in here. Hold on, Cooper. Let me ask you real quick. We'll do the same test. We're gonna read this message to you, and you're gonna tell me if you support it or not. Hold on. Let's find it. Here we go. We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. He is an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out, kill. At least not for now. But we don't want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers. Our patience is wearing thin. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So you like that, Coop? When you look at that, is this like, hell yeah, dude, that's my leader, bro? Go to Israel cameras now. Oh, Jesus. I'm going. Give me a live Israel cam. This is Jerusalem. I want Tel Aviv. Oh, shit. That's fresh smoke. That is fresh smoke. W. Chris, T.Y. for everything you do. You're welcome, Lex. Thank you. Thanks for being a fan. Ban Cooper. Yo, Cooper, your mother's a whore. Your mother's a fat fucking whore. I know Christy Gnome's in the hospital. Well aware. Cooper has been here before. He had to make a separate account just to come back. Dude's probably 8. I hope he is. I hope it fucking hurt. Lander's out. Good. Good. When's World War III? It already began, dog. It already began. L. Bun Dwyer just became a loyalist. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you are new here, my name is Chris Valenti. I'm a douchebag, and I'm from New York. I majored in history. I minored in political science. I want to have kids one day, but there's nothing I hate more than fascists. So I've got to make sure the fascists don't win. This is me. Hit the like, comment, subscribe, notification bell. If you want to support the channel financially, a couple of ways that you can do it is by becoming a member, becoming a patron, donating to the chat, buying merch, and using the discount code. Saying World War III began is silly. World War III is going to be triple times as worse. What would you call World War III, Justin? What classification? What do you need for it to be World War III? What would you need, sir? What would you need, sir? More than 3 countries fighting? You mean like Yemen, Israel, Iran, and the United States, and France, and the United Kingdom, and potentially Pakistan? Is that enough? Yeah, this isn't World War II, Chris. It's only Germany invading Poland alongside the USSR. Are they actively fighting? Yes. Yes, they are. Yes. American pilots are shooting down Iranian missiles. Israel and Iran are fighting. Yemen is firing missiles into Iran. The UK just sent in hundreds of Typhoon jets. France is getting ready to send their troops. What the fuck do you need? Wake up! Need actual war to be declared, that's what? No, Trump just said that he's not going to get Congress. He doesn't give a fuck about congressional approval. Trump literally, they already said it. He was just asked. We covered it. Said, are you going to get congressional approval to declare war? They said no. He doesn't have to. Yes, he does. He does have to get congressional approval to declare war. So this is entirely illegal. Chill, Malent. You're gonna end up on a list. What about Africa? What about it? Africa's in the middle. There's like a fucking genocide going on in the Congo. Meanwhile, in South Africa, the fucking Afrikaner are fleeing over to the United States. Like, what? Africa's not good either. Hey, no fighting, no fighting. Beans. Beans. Come here. Millett has not seen the Constitution art. I gotta send it to him. Click my link.
So as I was just mentioning, there are hearings today in the state of California's ongoing lawsuit against the Trump administration over their decision to federalize National Guard troops and also to call up active duty Marines, some several hundred, to respond to protest activity in and around LA. Can go ahead and put this tear sheet up on the screen. Appeals court has temporarily blocked the initial federal district court judge's ruling to return control of National Guard to California. And joining us now to discuss, we're very fortunate to have the Attorney General of California, Rob Bonta. Welcome, sir.
Thanks for having me. Great to be with you.
So if you could just bring our audience a little bit up to speed on this lawsuit and what is the basis for this action?
Absolutely. As we know, the weekend before this past one, we saw National Guard troops be brought in today, and on the case gets to the Supreme Court in
most of those people, many of those people, and yeah, that's the focus. Biden allowed 21 million people to come into our country. Of that, vast numbers of those people were murderers, killers, people from gangs, people from jails. They emptied their jails out into the U.S. Most of those people are in the cities.
Why are we
blue
calling this
cities.
World War III? Because it
All
absolutely
Democrat-run
fucking
cities.
is.
And they think they're going to use them to vote. It's not going to happen.
What is your reaction?
Portray
The judicial for you. Trump stopped short here of invoking the Insurrection Act. And, you know, so the legal grounds, of course, that he invoked is what's in dispute in this particular case. If he were to invoke the Insurrection Act, do you feel like you would have a case that you could make, or would it make all of these issues effectively null and void and he could basically do what he wants?
If he invokes the Insurrection Act, we'll see him in court, and confident we can block him. There's no basis for the Insurrection Act. The only reason he's interested in it is because it gives him more power, but the requirements to invoke it are not present. Again, there needs to be an inability to, with the regular forces, the statute says, execute the laws of the federal government. That's just not present. The federal government can execute all the laws it wants. Or there needs to be a deprivation of rights of individuals in the state where the military is being deployed. And that happened back in the 60s when Black Americans were being deprived of their civil rights. That is not present here. So there's no basis for invoking the Insurrection Act. It doesn't mean.
Oh, Jesus. When it rains, it pours, right? When it rains, it fucking pours. Valenti, I like you a lot, but I think our nation is at war with Iran, but I don't see the domino falling for it to be a world war. Okay, so Yemen is also firing missiles at Israel. Israel is firing at Iran. Iran is firing at Israel. The United States is already shooting down Iranian drones. The UK just sent hundreds of Typhoon fighters. France is going to be sending troops. Pakistan said they would bomb Iran. India said they would bomb Iran. Sorry, Pakistan said they would bomb Israel. India said they would bomb Iran. Russia backs Iran. China backs Iran. I don't know what to tell you. Live in whatever fucking reality you want, dog. You choose the most comfortable one. Oh, great. Fantastic. I don't think Donnie's going to say anything. Like, for the rest of the night, bro. I don't think Donnie's going to say diddly shit, dog.
Responsibility to one another. We have a responsibility to contribute to our communities, and we have this unshakable belief that our country is great because we feel that connection and that obligation to one another. Service to and respect for others was the guiding principle in Melissa's life. Over the last few days, there have been so many.
Hi, Ive Bedlam. How you doing? 39 seconds ago.
Alert, the
no
Israeli
views.
military
First
says
viewer.
missiles launched from
Look,
Iran
guys,
towards
no views.
Israel.
We are all the first
raining
viewers.
down right now. Trey Yingst is standing
We are
by
literally
in
the first
Tel Aviv.
viewers of this.
Trey.
Yeah, Jesse, you can hear behind me there are sirens sounding as ballistic missiles are fired at this city. Air defense systems are currently active over Tel Aviv with hundreds of thousands of people into bomb shelters at this moment. Unhook. Get off. All right, we got it. We're going to move. Okay. Stay with us. Stay with us. Stay with us. Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving. Give me 1 second, Jesse. I'm with you. I got to fix my IFB. One second, Jesse. We're going to give you a quick update. I'm with you. Jesse, I got you back.
There's a shelter-in-place order right now. We hear the sirens. Trey, are you with me?
Yeah, Jesse, I'm with you. We got disconnected for a moment from our IFB there. You can see a lot of those missiles coming off as they were trying to intercept some of that incoming fire. We saw the first one go out to the sea, and because they could track where it was going, they let it get intercepted out at sea.
Jesus.
This is an indication that the Iranians still, as the Americans are deciding whether or not they want to get involved in this war, are firing on major population centers. Again, we have to make the decisions very quickly to move. That's part of what you just saw there. We'll stay as long as we can, and you can hear there's a massive explosion overhead. And once we have another minute, we're going to go out and see if anything was hit. But you could just hear that explosion there, Jesse, and that's why we get off the balcony as the fire starts to get heavier. But again, this has been going on for the past 4 days as the Iranians respond to these strikes that are taking place across their territory. And despite the fact that the Israelis told us earlier
Trump is
today,
trying to spread peace. Yeah, bro, because dropping 30,000-pound bunker buster Moab bombs, mother of all bombs, from our fucking nuclear-capable $2 billion B-2 bombers. Yeah, that's a fucking way of peace. Shut the fuck up.
that they were able to take out around 40% of the missile launchers. We understand that they have not been able to take out all of them. And so we expect to see more of this type of fire in the days ahead.
Trey, what is your understanding from the intelligence community? How much missiles have the Iranians stockpiled? Are they able to go?
So peaceful, Palestine and Iran attacking Israel. Oh, Palestine, you mean where Israel murdered 200,000 people in a relentless genocide and is now weaponizing starvation because they're the most Nazi regime that exists on planet Earth right now? Is that what you're talking about? Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean? This motherfucker just said Israel force feeds prisoners to keep them alive. That's not the flex you think it is. Oh, look, a whole bunch of these fuckers showed up at the same time. Hi, everybody. Stay triggered while your fucking leadership drags us into World War III. Welcome. — 200,000 dead, Aaron. You just called Jews Nazis, dude? No, I call the Israelis Nazis. Are you saying that Jews and Israelis are synonyms? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying that Jews and Israelis are synonyms? Yeah, no, Aaron is fully programmed. I don't know about Ethan, but Aaron has been spoon-fed the Hasbro since he was a fucking child. Yeah, no, Aaron very well may be a fucking Mossad agent. Hey, Aaron, you see all this smoke? Does that mean you and your nation are electing a new Jeffrey Epstein now? To gather blackmail on all the fucking world leaders? Epstein was Iranian and Qatari intelligence. Yeah, bro, and I'm black. Get the fuck out of here, bro. D-Bands, what's good, brother? This thread is pissing me off. Go back to 4chan. Try Al Jazeera. Oh, hello.
Now, let's show you what we've been watching just moments ago. Missiles appearing over Tel Aviv, the air raid sirens also going off, and several explosions heard in the Israeli city as the Israeli military said its defensive systems were operating to intercept missiles that were launched from Iran towards Israel. Let's bring in Bernard Smith, who's keeping an eye on things in Israel for us from Amman, Jordan. Bernard, bring us up to speed with what's been happening. What have you seen or heard?
Foley, we also had the air raid siren go off here in Amman about sort of just over 5 minutes ago, perhaps, and we saw a few missiles streaking through the air on their way to Israel. The just very initial reports are coming in from Israeli media of debris or missiles falling in central Israel. perhaps in the Jerusalem area and parts of
Thanks, Noah
greater
Guy. Appreciate you.
Tel Aviv. And the sirens sounded in, excuse me, Tel Aviv, Haifa, Jerusalem, and areas in southern Israel. This is about the 8th wave of missiles from Iran in the last 24 hours. As we reported earlier, the number of missiles Iran seems to be firing at any particular time is less than it
Ban
was
Aaron, simply because I don't like him.
a few days ago in the initial 24 hours of this war. A couple of hundred fired overnight, Saturday to Sunday, 65, say the Israelis, Sunday to Monday, and 30 from Monday to Tuesday. The Israelis say they've destroyed about 200 missile launching locations in Iran, and they believe that the Iranians can't fire the number of missiles they want to. Clearly, they are still capable, though, of firing
Why'd you ban
missiles.
him? Because I don't like him.
Israel says most of the missiles that are fired are intercepted by the Iron Dome, but as we've seen by the defense systems, whatever we've seen in the last 3 or 4
Cringe in the year
days,
2025.
some do get through and
Yeah.
cause considerable devastation when they hit a target.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the impact of the Iranian attacks over the past 5 days. I mean, even as you say, it's been less intense in the last 24 hours. The missiles that have been fired from Friday to Sunday
Aaron
have
with the
had
dollar.
quite
Thank you
an
very
impact
much,
on the
Aaron
ground in
English.
Israel.
Appreciate you.
They have. 24 people have been killed since Iran started responding to Israel's attacks. And 18,000 Israelis were told have filed for compensation. That means their properties have been damaged by Iranian missiles or drones or by shrapnel that's fallen from destroyed missiles.
I do remember when MAGA
and
said
also
it's
in
a
the occupied
violation
West
of their
Bank,
First Amendment
they've
rights to be banned from a
calculated there
YouTube
they've had
chat.
about 80 incidents where usually shrapnel has fallen. That siren is the all clear. So about all clear from the Jordanian side of the border, I should say. It goes on for a minute. So that means that there's nothing else coming from Iran for the moment, certainly as far as the Jordanians can see. But as I say, the Israelis are saying now at least, I think it's more than 24 buildings will have to be totally.
Oh, jeez. Okay, we got 9 new updates. Let's see. A spokesman for the Foreign Ministry of Qatar, Majed bin Mohammed Al Ansari, said on Tuesday that Israel's attack on Iran was, quote, an uncalculated escalation with serious consequences for regional security, which is already strained and cannot handle further crisis. 31 minutes ago. Israel's Home Front Command warned that it has detected a new round of Iranian missile launches aimed at Israel and advised Israelis to seek shelter immediately. 28 minutes ago. Explosions were visible in the sky over Tel Aviv as air raid sirens sound across the city. The mid-air explosions were likely caused by interceptors fired by Israel's air defense system. 16 minutes ago. Israel's Home Front Command said that the latest Iranian missile barrage had ended and told Israelis they are now safe to leave their bomb shelters. Okay. Kristi Noem is the head of the Department of Homeland Security. Oh, she had an allergic reaction? Shut the fuck up. I don't give a fuck. That's not fucking news. I had an almond. Persian arrows rain down on occupied Palestine. Zionist cult struggles shattered into historic afar. Israel sent people to attack people in Greece, and a lot of people died due to the attack. What are you talking about? No shot. Bullshit. Yeah, that's bullshit, dog. More rockets from Iran just launched. Where are you hearing that, dog? Where are you hearing that? Is Aaron Parnas pro-Israel? Oh, yeah, I think he's a Zionist. But, like, listen, dude, I don't like Zionists. But just because somebody is a Zionist does not mean that they're also pro-genocide. Maybe Aaron Parnas isn't pro-genocide. I don't fucking know. But regardless, you gotta take what you can get in terms of the coverage that we're getting. Aaron Parnas has got the best coverage of, like, Trump's fuckery that we have. So, you know what? Deal with that later. My ass. I gotta stand for a little bit, I think. Oh, my ass, bro. Whew. That's crazy. That's like saying being a Nazi isn't anti-Semitic. What? No, that's nowhere even close to similar. Missile in the air. According to who? Intel cams. What is that? On Twitter? Intel cams on YouTube?
Against transnational repression, against terrorism, against other factors, and the work that we can do together. And it is my great honor to have you here. I enjoyed your intervention just now, and we look forward to our discussion.
एक्सेलेंसी, मैं आपका बहुत बहुत आभारी हूँ कि आपने G7 में भारत को निमंत्रित किया और
Yeah, bro, anybody who supports this fucking war is insane. You don't need to be a genius to come to that conclusion. Oh shit. Live UA map. They're not live. Live UA Maps website. All right, hold on. What do they have, a camera here I can click or something? Is there a camera? Like, what is this? Top left. I didn't do nothing. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Here it comes. Thanks for the loyalist. Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv sees them, I think. Here they come. They're not attacking Jerusalem. They're just going for Tel Aviv. I'm going to get the AP Tel Aviv live. Chris, do something. I can't, dog. do you mean save them? They started the bullshit? What about the civilians? What about, like, the 5-year-old children in both fucking nations? What about the 5-year-old children? Oh, shit. Jerusalem, 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 Jerusalem. I don't think Iran is fucking aiming at all, dog. I don't think Iran is even aiming. Oh shit. Here comes the second round. Here comes the second round. Round 2. Let's hope nothing bad happens. I'll check out Al Jazeera in a second, guys. $2 donation, make it stop. I'll try. Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv. There it is. Same spot. Here comes the Iron Dome. Iron Dome firing. Iron Dome headed for the rocket. No impact. They get it? I think they got it. I think they got it. Still firing. There's more incoming. There's more incoming. Iron Dome. I think they got it. I think the Iron Dome got it. Where was that? Tehran. Yeah, it does sound exactly like the audio from last night. U.S. citizen killed in Kyiv after Russian overnight attack. Great. When it rains, it pours. There's only two things that are guaranteed in life, Jay, and that's death and taxes. Ooh. All right. Hey, I might take a break then. I'll go live again if Trump announces something. All right. What city is this? What city is this? This can't be live. This is not live. Yeah, that's not live. That's not live at all. Fucking propagandists, bro. 3.2 million subscribers that channel had. You know, fucking, like, that is just journalistic malpractice, bro. What the fuck? All right. One last refresh on Trump's truth. One last refresh on the New York Times. Updated just now, huh? Where's the latest update? Updated 1 minute ago where? Oh, this? Okay. Yeah, you're late, New York Times. You're very late, dog. Israeli shelters exclude Palestinians as the bombs rain down. Of course. I want to go back to that beach so bad. Oh, look at that water. Look at that water. 90, 92 degrees. That's Grand Cayman Island. That is the Grand Cayman Island. Hey, if we make it through this whole thing, mark my words, simply because of the fucking stress, I'll go this summer. I'll go back to the Cayman. And I'll bring the setup so I can record. Oh. All right. I'm out of here. Oh, no, I'm doing a meet and greet. I got Avi on that, planning it. I'm doing a meet and greet. All right, guys. I'm out of here.